Once in a forgotten corner of a sprawling city lived a man named Elias. He had no house, no savings, no family to lean on. The only things he owned were the clothes on his back, a tattered notebook, and a pencil worn down to a stub. He spent his nights under a cracked bridge where the rain leaked through, and his days wandering the streets for scraps of work or food. Elias wasn't always poor. Years ago, he had dreams of becoming an artist. But life had a way of grinding those dreams down. First, his father's illness drained his small savings. Then the factory where he worked shut down overnight. One by one, the doors closed until all he could see were walls. Walls of rejection, walls of hunger, walls of hopelessness. Every evening, though, Elias would take out his notebook and draw. He sketched what he saw: the stray cats sleeping in piles, the market's colorful fruits he couldn't afford, and the skyline at sunset. But one night, when his stomach ached with hunger and the rain soaked his pages, he felt his spirit finally breaking. "What's the point?" he whispered to the empty street. The next morning, while sitting on the curb, he began sketching again, not because he had hope, but because his hands moved out of habit. A boy about 7 stopped to watch him. "That's beautiful," the boy said, pointing at the drawing. Elias smiled faintly. "It's just a sketch." "No," the boy said. "It looks like a dream." The boy's mother, who owned a small cafe nearby, came over to fetch her son. She saw the drawings, too. "Would you paint something for my cafe's wall?" she asked, shyly. "I can't pay much, but I'll give you meals." It was a small thing, but for Elias, it was like someone had opened a window in a sealed room. He accepted. Over the next weeks, he painted a mural of the sky filled with birds, bright, soaring, unafraid. Customers loved it. They began asking who painted it. Soon, Elias was offered more small jobs: shop signs, portraits, murals. His hands were still calloused, his clothes still worn, but his heart felt lighter. Months later, the man who once slept under a bridge had his own tiny studio, not big, but full of light. People came not just for his art, but for his story. The man who had nothing but kept drawing anyway. And every time he signed a painting, he drew a small bird in the corner, a reminder of the day he realized that even when the world feels like a cage, there is always a piece of sky left to find.